Hi, friends. A very good afternoon on a holiday, actually, a holiday. So, I decided to come up with something interesting. After a long time, I'm doing this video. I realized that, something which is very exciting and relatable to, all of us. So, here I am with, some interesting facts about the food habits of various signs that could be very, very interesting, and it also helps you compare or see for yourself where you stand. So without wasting much time, I thought I would quickly run through all the 12 signs for your reference. And kindly note that this is my perspective based on my past experiences, reading various charts, and also taking into account various, nature of these rashis that would, make them, prefer a certain kind of food. Now, I don't claim this is the only way they may eat. This may vary a little bit depending upon the planetary positions as well, but majority of the content I tell you is well researched, and I have seen profoundly on various charts. So let's move ahead and quickly see how this science fare. So food habits of various Rashi. This is my interpretation based on my research. So let's move ahead. So Mesh Rashi. Now this Mesha is ruled by planet of Mars. So they always like something very, very hot and spicy most of the time. Very, quick to be eaten. Anything just, quick bites. Those they like it. They don't chew much. They just eat, just like that. And it should be very fast for them. Everything happens very quickly. They are very quick in doing things. So they like to eat also very quickly. Always on the move. They just keep, just running around and just moving very fast. They like to finish off things task very quickly. So they also like to eat very fast. So one of the favorite things they have is something like very spicy things like pepper, chili. They love it in their tongue. So that is something they prefer the most. Something kind of a burning sensation, the heat, the fire. They love it. So let's move on to the next sign. Rishabh Rashi. Now, these are the people who are like very dormant, silent, very relaxed. Most of the time, you'll find them, you call them, they say hi. I mean, the hi comes very slowly. So, something, the food or habits also very much in a very, very, relaxed way. They like to eat something which is, slowly digestible. They don't want to rush up things. Something opposite of, Mesha. And since they're ruled by Venus, they have this habit of ordering something very, very peculiar, something very different in the menu. So restaurant menu cards, you find something dolly bolly collie, they would be the first person to order this dolly bolly collie. That's how they try to look for things. And any different name, any different item would excite them. Very patient eater. I mean, they don't rush into things and be relaxed. Something like how a bull behaves. So it's like in the picture we have put. Let's move to Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. They like to go easy breezy. I mean, things are very slow, very fast actually. I mean, it's other way around. And put their hand into anything. They'll eat into multiple plates. They can put their hand into anything. No specific preferences. Anything, boss. I eat anything. Everything under the sun. They like to eat some snacks. They like to eat from others plates, something, any they go do a weird combination, a continental pizza with a curd, a curd, normal traditional yogurt. They can do any combinations, weird combinations like sambar with curd, spicy things with a very something which completely neutralizes the food. There's no taste. They don't think about this will neutralize the other taste. They just are very comfortable eating anything and everything. Very light eater. I mean, and maybe they may munch into multiple times. They like to break down the meals into multiple, because they don't put their mind into it. I mean, it's just that eating is just one of the things in life. Very easy for them. Katak Rashi, oh, Cancer. So it's a watery sign, pretty much very deep into everything they do. But again, they are dreamers. So they love a lot of sweet, they talk very sweet, they like very sweet. and they want you to be very sweet with them as well. So they love a lot of sweets and no spice with them. Everything, anything other than sugar is spicy for them. They love cold food and like to have a heavier food, which digests slowly. I mean, this is not necessarily like the one I have told for previous sign. They like to eat, once in a while. It's not like, keep on eating and, so they may prefer to have a bigger meal compared to a, small meals, opposite of Gemini. And they love to talk, they have to talk. They are emotionally always vibrant, they have to describe the food. They like to think about some activity that has happened in the past. They would have had some, if it is lunch, they would have, had something in the morning which they like to share. They keep talking. Leo. So they are like one of those, fiery signs. They like the spicy and hot food. They just love it, and they're like very systematic, regular meals, and they hardly go for snacking stuff. Very focused eater. They are very precise. Okay, lunch I need this, and dinner I need this. It's like very very contented approach towards food, and it's like they like variety. If there is a huge variety, and they would love to go, and they won't eat all of them. They would like to go and choose, pick and choose, and prefer to eat what they like. So they like to be pleased. Leo. Oh, Kanya, Virgo. Now, this is a very technical sign. They like to have a very specific kind of food. I mean, the food has to be in a particular way. If there is going to be a pizza has to be like a thin crust with very little cheese and maybe tomato sliced with a properly circular way. And they are somebody who always get into technical things, how well it is cooked. They would describe, oh, this food is cooked very well. The technical details excite them. So most of the time, they would be the person who'd read the description, in the menu card. You sit on the table and they see the description. They love it. I mean, they like to read the food before it is, touched on your palate. So that is something very exciting for them. So, that's one of those characteristics of Virgo. And just a moment. So yeah, I was in between Kanya. So Kanya likes to be, very specific in the details, and that's what they like the most, and they enjoy that. Get into the details of food and other stuff, and they just love it. I mean, that's the only way they can, enjoy the food, and that's how it is. So let's move on to the next sign, Tula. So Tula is something, again, an airy sign. Everything is fine with them. They are not very specific about anything. They like to have a balanced food in terms of taste or blend. They like to, they like to see everything in a very balanced way. They are tarazu, they have to balance everything. Now, the technicality, they will be definitely interested because they are ruled by Venusian sign, and that will definitely excite them. And but most of the time, they like to be having a very very complete meal. That is something they always prefer. A Scorpio. So Scorpions, unlike the character, most of the time they are not very fuzzy about food. They'll, but they always like to prefer to have a similar kind of food. I mean, they don't look for variety. Something like a Taurus, Rishabh, or some different signs. They like to try out something. They're like pretty much okay. They would like to have upma everywhere. That is how they eat. They like to eat larger meals and rest, and not a snack muncher. They are okay. They love spicy food. They're not very sweet, likers, and it's a specific pattern. You can see somebody who would, always eat a similar food. Dhanu Rashi. So now this is a very sattvic sign, ruled by Jupiter. Now Jupiter is somebody who always, looks for some neutrality in their food. It's nothing very spicy, nothing very sweet, but they like how right the food is. It should be prepared in a particular way. That is something they get excited, and that's where Jupiter, they bring in the sattvicness in that. So most of the time, the correctness of food appeals to them. It's not necessarily what kind of food. They're fine with any kind of food, but the way it is prepared, that is important. Makar Rashi. Now Makar Rashi is ruled by Saturn. Now Saturn is a kind of a sign. They are like fine. They don't have any major preferences. They can eat any time. No time is morning 9 o'clock. They can have dinner. Now they like to have easily digested food. Maybe they like to be more related to earthy kind of stuff. I mean something like potato, carrots, and radish. You would find something like Kanya also and Rishabh also display this. Rishabh Rashi and Kanya Rashi also like these kind of food which is grown on surface of the earth. I mean soil is related to that. So these are earthy signs and they love it. But sometimes they can be very choosy. I mean, they say, today I want to have biryani, otherwise I'm not having it. They do that sometimes. I don't know why. Now Kumbha Rashi is again a very, very powerful sign and one of the powerful sign of Saturn. Now they are very strong leaders. I mean, they can just, you know, feed into, I mean, a lot of volumes and volumes of food. They can just, eat, gobble up a lot of stuff, and so when you look at them, even they will not even talk to you. They just look at the food and they just gobble up. That's how they eat. They don't have any preferences, and they eat almost everything edible. That's not a problem. And they don't have anything like, oh, this has to be very hot or very cold. The food has to be good, and they have to just eat. That's how they are. And most of the time, they are not very vocal about food, and they're fine. I mean, whatever, as far as you give them good food, they're fine about it. Meena Rashi. Now, this is very interesting. Meena Rashi is something like, they have this habit of talking, chit chatting. They like to. The food is all about, it's party for them. Just share some feelings and explain things, and they keep sharing, and they love it. And very relaxed eater, light eater. As far as most of the time, even if they don't speak, others speak to them, they're fine with it. So they're very, calm and composed eater, ruled by Jupiter. Again, very similar traits. They don't like very spicy or very sweet food. So it's that moderation that likes to them. And but of course they are very, very relatively less fussy compared to a Sagittarius sign, but they love a lot of laughter on them. So this is my interpretation, friends, and please do comment and tell me if this is making sense to you, and if there are any other traits you have observed in these signs, please do share it with me in the comment section. Looking forward for your comments and inputs. Thank you so much.